Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to talk about the forebrain. Forebrain has this green structure called the limbic system and the rest called the cerebral cortex. I want you to imagine this. Imagine a huge, big paper. What I have here is a small battery. You can see the ratio of size between this small battery and this huge paper. How can I cover this battery with this paper? Well, same is the case with the brain, especially this outermost layer is nothing but a thin layer of cells. This cerebral cortex is so thin and it's so large. Everything else under it, which are nothing but the subcortical structures, is small in comparison to the size of the cerebral cortex. So what the nature has done is it crumpled this paper so it can fit over these small subcortical structures. So most of the brain or forebrain is this folded paper on itself, which is nothing but cerebral cortex. After folding, whatever structure you get, it's called cerebrum. And we'll talk about this in the last video. For now, we're going to talk about subcortical structures. Subcortical structures can be divided into two things. Some of or most of these subcortical structures are closely linked and work together to form a system called limbic system. And in addition to limbic system, there are two other structures. We'll talk about those two other structures then in this video. And the next video, we'll talk about limbic system, cerebrum or cerebral cortex, two structures of thalamus and hypothalamus. Okay, let's look at thalamus. Thalamus is this egg-shaped structure, and you have two such egg-shaped structures in your brain. And below that is your hypothalamus. Hypo underneath the thalamus or hypothalamus. The two egg-shaped structures called thalamus, and thalamus acts as a relay station. If you remember the RAS, the crisscross sensory fibers eventually land in thalamus because thalamus acts as a relay station. Which information should go where? If the information is about vision, it will be sent to that particular part of the cerebral cortex called the visual cortex. And if it's about hearing, it goes to that specific part. We'll talk about what these parts are in the last video. So thalamus acts as a relay station. Information first goes to thalamus, especially for these four, before it goes to the cortical areas. Also, thalamus controls sleep and wakefulness. So it controls your life cycle. What else controls your life cycle? Your sleep cycle. Hypothalamus is this structure underneath the thalamus, and it regulates hunger, thirst, body temperature, reproduction, sleep, the most basic needs of humans. And this is closely associated with the endocrine system. One structure, the pituitary gland. So hypothalamus is connected or is in close proximity with the pituitary gland. In fact, hypothalamus plays an important role in regulating the functions of endocrine glands. It is an important part of the stress response. When we talk about stress, we'll refer back to the hypothalamus. Okay, what I'll do is stop here. So you would have learned about thalamus and hypothalamus, and probably you'll take this break to watch the small videos on the structure of thalamus and hypothalamus. In the next video, I'll talk about limbic system. In the following video, I'll talk about the cerebral cortex.